Hey everybody, we're back for hour 3 of Roleplay Blades. Rune has just overindulged on her new tattoo drug.
Yes.
And attracted some attention while she was in the chair, blissed out or freaked out or whatever it is that this drug does. We were talking about that during the break. Like, what exactly is it like when you're on lure? I think
isn't it like, man?
Because Lotus was like kind of a hallucinogen, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like that's like what the kind of experience that Rune would like to, have, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if lure has like a specific, I don't know, something already in the canon.
Yeah, I think hallucinogen for sure, and I think it might be. I think it'd be cool if it's linked to the art in some way, like the type of thing you get in the tattoo is sort of guides the hallucination somehow.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah, so maybe this Leviathan tattoo, like you feel drawn out into the void sea, and you like go beneath the waves down into the depths, and have this crazy underwater hallucination experience. Maybe even because of recent events, like you feel like you see the lost island with the Kotar monument or something, just because it's on your mind, maybe.
Yeah.
And it's all trippy in the dreamscape of the drug, and is like crazy colors and lights are shooting off of it. And I think also being a whisper too, Leviathans are demons technically. So there's some kind of demonic factor to it too that is familiar to you, like that kind of feeling you get with ghosts and demons. That tingly whisper feeling happens when you're on the drug. And I think that's probably true in the future too. Like if you have fantastical stuff, monsters or whatever as your tattoos, you're going to have that extra layer of connection to them because you're being a whisper. You like are attuned to all that stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, part of that experience draws the attention. So the bluecoats in the area are like, they don't like work for the bloodletters. That's the name of the crew. They don't work for them exactly. They're like on the payroll. They bribe them to kind of look the other way and to like dispose of riffraff and that sort of stuff. But they're still bluecoats. They still like, they have a list of most wanted in the city that they've got to fill quotas on and blah 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 blah. So I'm gonna make a roll for the bloodletters riffraff here, their gang, for them to like stand up to the bluecoats basically. They have 46 worth of fuck you bluecoats. So I'm gonna roll and see how they. If you guys get any heat from this at all, if the bluecoats are interested in these new strangers coming into this area, or if the bloodletter gang is just like, whatever, they're just new clients, leave them alone.
Now the bloodletters count as a faction, right?
They're a gang like you guys. They are technically a faction.
Okay.
And I guess Academy would know they're tier 2. They're kind of a big deal in the criminal underworld. But
now, quick question: is it the bloodletters or just bloodletters?
The bloodletters. Yeah.
Okay.
They're tier 2. You guys are neutral with them right now. You have 0 status. Okay, 4. Yeah, that's a success. So yeah, the bloodletters gang, the one-eyed bouncer, and the other guys, they don't like throw the bluecoats out and are like, "Fuck you, they're our clients. No questions, coppers." But they are just like, whatever. It doesn't. You don't need to worry about them. Forget it. Like, just it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. So that the cops are like, I don't know. These people seem suspicious, but whatever. We'll let it go for now.
Cool.
Basically, I'm just gonna tick a clock instead of having something like actually happen because of this. You guys start messing around in the docks further in the future, we'll already have 2 ticks on the blue coats give a shit clock. Cool. Okay. So Anyway, is that the end of our downtime? Are we all good?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm saving my action for whenever we figure out what the new.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
So we have some options, right? Like you guys can look for new clients. You can pursue your own targets like we did last time. Or you have an outstanding potential client, the kid who kind of like was savvy to Careless's poisoning last time and wanted to meet up. He's an option as well.
Well, I'd love to have a conversation with Careless about Grace.
Oh.
Sure. Yeah, I think when we come back, like the camera was focusing in on Rune's tattoo, and then like going into the crazy Leviathan hallucination in the dark, and it finally just goes completely all the way below the depths into blackness, and then cranes up out of the darkness into the library, and everyone's back around the table in the common room there, ready to discuss the next steps. So you're all together to chat.
I like to think it as like the Big Lebowski condition what my condition is in music video.
Yeah, bowling imagery.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Maybe Rune can get tattooed while she's on a huge swing.
Go at it, Zeke.
Well, I don't want to do this in front of the group because this is kind of a thing between me and Careless.
My bad. I thought you wanted to talk to the group, Zeke. I was setting you up.
No, it's fine. But yeah, I would like to talk to Careless one-on-one about because Miss Cataby has no idea who she just talked to, and I mean in relation to me.
Let's do that then. Instead, we'll save the group scene for a moment, and you guys can chat.
So, in case anybody was unaware that's watching or whatever, the way that me and Careless got hooked up is because he knows this Grace has a book that I want, that I am trying to get out of her, and he has offered to make that possible. Okay. So I walk up. I'm gonna say like after Miss Cataby is like gone or out of the building or whatever. Like immediately I walk over while Rune is tripping. Just kind of like, are you like kind of knock on a door or something?
Mine just has. I sleep on a stack of books, and I'm just in between two aisles of books.
Okay.
So I'm just sitting there reading a book. I think when you come over.
Okay.
I'm swimming through the air in the background.
No, Rune. Careless doesn't fly anymore.
Anymore.
Mr. Firm, I was wondering if I could have a word with you.
Firm like sees you, herky jerky stands up, but hears your hushed tones and like very conspiracy like says, "Yes, Aldo, of course. Come on in."
Well, you know that symbol that Miss Cataby found? Well,
Yes.
She found out some more about it, and she found it out from a person that's an acquaintance of both of ours. And I think it's time for you to help me get what I want. You remember when you saw me in the gallery and you promised me you'd help me get a book?
Yes.
Well, Miss Cataby has had a meeting with Grace, and I think it's time to get the book back.
I would most certainly like to help you with this endeavor, Aldo. How would you like to go about this? Does the woman die? Does everyone around her die within a 100-foot radius? Do we burn this? I mean, what do we do?
Well, I think we keep our focus on the main objective. I just want that book.
The book, yes, of course.
And if anybody has to die, that's fine. But
Okay.
if not, no big deal. You're better at planning things than I am, and I'll admit that. But I just wanted to bring it up.
Okay.
So, what do you think?
we're about to have a group meeting about where we should go next with our plans. If I can convince them that, well, let me ask you this. How open are we to the fact that you need this book? Is it something you'd like shared with the group, or should I keep it more as a not an important thing for them?
It's all right if you want to share it, because if they see it, if they spy it, I'd like to let them know that I would be the only one who would have it, and I'd prefer it if no one really looked inside of it.
Okay.
But it's fine if you say it.
Absolutely, then. Let's go to this meeting, and I will do my best to steer us in that direction.
All right. Oh, one more thing. I know that we have our little tay-a-tays, our tit-for-tats, but I want you to know personally that I like your professionalism. I like the way you handle things, and I just want the same respect from you. Do I have that?
Aldo, you are not the first to be troubled by the way I talk. I find that my way of communicating doesn't translate well here. I don't actually disrespect you, but I am endeavoring ever so greatly to try and communicate that to you. And I don't mean that in a way that further proves my potential disrespect for you. I actually do mean I'm trying to communicate to you in a respectful manner. It's very difficult. Cataby, for instance, she needs to be coddled a little bit. She needs to feel like she's smarter than she actually is. Rune, we cannot address the elephant in the room, that she's, of course, an addict. And with you, you are powerful. I do respect that, and I'm trying to communicate that. I will get better, I think, over time.
All right. That's good. I feel like we've really done something between you and I right now. I like that. All right. Shall we? To the
Very
meeting.
Family meeting.
So yeah, we just kind of go down there, calls everybody, and says, well, we should be productive. I have two things to offer. One, there was a man that identified that I may have hydrated her. What was her name again? Marlene?
Yes, Marlene.
I may have hydrated Marlene with a more synthetic type of fluid than perhaps was shown to be what was expected. This man wants to meet with me. He's dressed in the most try-hard outfit I think I've seen in a long, long time. So that, of course, means we should meet him because he could be either a boon or a problem of sorts. Second, and much more importantly, it has come to my attention that we have encountered an individual by the name of Grace. Is that true, Miss Cataby?
It is. She gave me a book. I don't.
Okay.
She just.
It's fantastic that you said she gave you a book, because that is exactly the topic that I'm about to bring up. It would just so happen she is in possession of a book that is extremely important to Mr. Aldo here, and in fact, largely in part the reason why he's here. He has asked that we pay off, well, not pay off necessarily, but help him retrieve this book. And it's very important to me that we do that. If you would think of him, and he looks at Rune, as your Skurlock, or for you, it's Suker. And for me, it's any number of people that will have to perish eventually pretty soon here. Do you guys agree that this is something we could all help out? And of course, if we can devise a way of being paid and earning money, I'm sure she has some valuable assets, but the book must go to Mr. Aldo.
Now, what I didn't say before, and what I'm going to say now, is that she must not know that we are coming, that we're going to get it, or try to get it, because if she even has an inkling that we're doing that, she will destroy it outright. And it's very important to me that she does not do that. So we have to handle this very quietly and without gaining any attention from her.
I'm in.
How do you suppose we do that?
Well, I have a
Well-
number of ideas, of course. She is an older woman of sorts, middle-aged. Is that correct, Rune and Miss Cataby?
That's
I don't
right.
think I've
yeah.
ever met Grace.
Oh, you didn't go? It was just
No.
Miss Cataby?
No,
Just
it's
Miss
just.
Cataby.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's just.
Yeah, she's 35, maybe.
Super old then. Jesus Christ. Okay. Miss Cataby, as a person that obtains information very well, what would you describe her as? Did she look like she was cagey, a bit more of a good fighter, or is she just a person that deals in secrets and that kind of thing?
Well, she's a good fighter, but she's a fighter with information. So you put Aldo up against her, I'd imagine he'd punch her so hard that her grandmother would feel it. But that's not necessarily her thing. She hurts people with leverage and information.
Good. We can work with that.
You know
Could we-
specifically, Cataby, that she's like a contingency type. Everyone knows that like when Grace dies, a bunch of shit gets released, and it's that kind of thing. Nothing better happened to me, or so there's
Right.
she always has these like contingency plans and that kind of stuff.
Like a dead man switch.
It basically, yeah. That's why no one is just like killed her because they were annoyed by her blackmail. She's always like, ooh, there's gonna be trouble,
And also, quick
I'm
question.
spitballing here. Go ahead.
As far as like Careless knowing about it, would he have more knowledge of her and her goings on and her doings? Like, how has he found out about it? I'm not like asking you to tell me. I'm just saying, does that create a more knowledgeable, is he more knowledgeable about Grace because he knows that connection between me and her?
Oh, is Careless more knowledgeable about Grace?
Yes.
I don't
Not.
no joke.
I wouldn't say intimately. He just knew that she has this book that you want. It's more that he knows that you want it.
Right. And I'm just like wondering if the way he found out will help us now.
Oh, John can clarify, but for me, mechanically, I don't think so. He just knows that he would like know loosely about her that she is a purveyor of information type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Cool.
think Cataby knows her by reputation and is part of her world, but generally deals with her rival, Salia. Who is someone who might like to see her rival
Right.
Yeah.
be eliminated.
Right.
Well, since Miss Cataby, you are more graceful when dealing with people, do you think that maybe you have a connection or somebody that might know where she might keep these things or where we might find them? Because it's not important to me that she dies. What's important to me is that I get the book back, whatever way that happens. So if you could gather any information or something like that, that might be helpful.
I might be able to do that.
I have a question. Who's going to pay us for this?
Well, that's funny that you say that. Here's the thing. Now, this may not sound like good news or, proper payment for you, but I could pay you with coin, which we have a lot of, or I could owe each one of you one favor. And that's a no questions asked, no strings attached favor. So
Now listen.
if your favor is,
Well, 1 second, Aldo. Let me sweeten the deal. I'm always working the angles here. I appreciate a good payment. I think if this woman has information on key figures, something that would perhaps keep her mortality intact otherwise, we can devise a situation where such information should fall into our hands through perhaps questioning, torture. I'm just spitballing here, but some form of information extraction. Of course, I do fancy torture. We don't need to get off topic. The point is, if we can get that information for ourselves, we could devise any number of ways where we're paid a lot of money, of course, Rune.
well, if
All
that
right.
were the case, we could extend our repertoire from not just assassinations and killings, but we could also become information peddlers, that kind of thing.
I'm also thinking that a woman such as this would perhaps have information on Skurlock, since we are building up to a big kill of a very, very powerful man of sorts. That remains to be seen, though. I do think that this could be a handy step in.
Would John maybe maybe kind of like the gears are turning in Cataby's head, and maybe there's actually some weight in asking Salia what it would be worth to have her secrets and her rival gone.
I think she's always presented herself as someone who holds herself apart from such ugly business. So it would require some delicate handling, but it's your gut feeling is that that's something you could do.
Okay.
You could float that idea to her, as long as you didn't, make it too crude and direct. Like, hey, do you want us to kill this person for you? That's definitely not going to work with her.
Right.
But
like if we can get this information from her, and we just don't say what's going to happen.
Or we just go ahead
with her blackmail materials, like that would be incredible.
I mean, we could also try to sell it after the fact.
Yeah, just get it from her and then just go.
Right.
Like we found this on you. Like, what are you going to give us for it?
Right.
Yeah, and obviously that's Grace's whole deal. Like this is the things you know about her, right? Like she's sort of an ex-pirate Dagger Isles corsair. She has dirt on people that she uses to, maintain her lifestyle, and she's also like she just enjoys it. She likes twisting the knife and messing with people's lives and bringing down people who think they're beyond reproach. And that her reputation and the fear that people feel for her is dependent on the fact that people just don't know. Like she struts around town just confident that no one's going to knife her in the back, because her secrets are hidden away, or there's it's the mutual assured destruction kind of thing.
Yep.
So
right.
yeah, finding her stuff will be very difficult. Killing her is not super difficult. That's her reputation. That's what you know about her on the street. Those aren't facts that the GM is telling you. That's what you know.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I think
we'll keep that.
is that she doesn't have anything on us. We are still
for Aldo.
relatively unknown.
Except for all.
With the book.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but mine's not
Well,
blackmail. Mine's extortion.
As far as you know, she doesn't have anything on you.
All the more reason that we do remove this asset from play. I see a pay. I see potential power and wisdom and knowledge that we could then sell or blackmail other people with. I don't want to go too far down that path, because that is something we're not necessarily super sharp in, but a little dabbling shouldn't hurt everyone.
I'm in.
We're on board?
I'm in board.
Very good. I will need Miss Cataby to use her expertise to perhaps devise a way that we can find some kind of someone that can find a weakness with her. I don't have one myself. We'll get close, extract the information, and then we'll be done with that. I also think we should meet up with this young man who's identified us as a potential assassin group.
Sure. I'll do some digging. Give me some time.
Who's going to meet with the boy?
It could end up being nasty work. Is it, Rune, would you like to join along?
Nothing better to do?
Yes, of course. Idle hands and such. Miss Cataby, if you could do the research, Aldo, you're more than welcome to join. It will most likely end up with me killing him. And if you're okay with that, wonderful. If not, I totally understand. You can stay behind.
Oh, that's fine by me.
then please do come. You can be the muscle, as always, and so much more. So much, a lot more than just that, obviously. Then I just go to meet the guy, I guess.
Yeah, he gave you like a crude drawing to their secret hideout and everything.
Yeah.
So us three are going to there, and Catabee is finding info about Grace.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent.
I think for the first time too, Careless runs up to his room and gets the spear, and comes out and just kind of walks out with it.
The ghost killing.
We should go.
That's not subtle.
No, not at all.
Nice. Yeah, it's the place you're heading is in Crowsfoot, which is south of the docks, kind of southwest from Brightstone, where your guys' library is. You can kind of cross the canal and then cross the other canal to get into Crowsfoot there, which is in turmoil. You guys have heard stories like the gang war there got really heated. One of the gangs got completely obliterated. The spirit wardens have come in and have set up like weird checkpoints at some different places, and also kind of down by the docks too, around where the tattoo parlor is, actually in that rough area.
Nice.
And something crazy is going on with that gang war. You guys are not part of it. You're not part of that scene right now. You're kind of separate. Catabee, Rune, and Aldo, like, you guys know the players, the Crows, the Lampblacks, the Red Sashes. They were all kind of street gangs that were vying for power in the area, and the Lampblacks and the Crows have kind of like won that battle. But I mentioned that because when you go into the area, like, there's still this kind of lingering post gang war vibe happening in the district, and it's best to stay out of sight. Like, you don't want to necessarily like get up in anyone's faces or present yourself as some weird threat that some trigger happy gang member thinks is a problem, right? So if that's cool with you guys, I'm seeing the scene as like you guys kind of slip quietly through the shadows over to where this hideout is, instead of strutting down the street and getting up in everyone's faces. But that's up to you how you guys like actually portray your.
No, I mean we're operating pretty much in the shadows right now. But as weird, on a side, this is Careless in Disneyland right now. Like he is sticking to the shadows, but he's like giggling to himself a little bit and looking around corners and smiling harder than ever.
Nice.
Can
they tell what's causing that? Like what specifically about it that is tickling you?
The aura, just the death and destruction that's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very dark place where there isn't people walking in the streets laughing or going about their day. It seems to be a place where people are killing each other.
Yep, that's totally true. And this fills Cantor with a giggling glee. Nice.
Careless.
Oh, sorry, Jesus. Why did I say that? God. The other psychopath that I gave.
It's okay. That's like saying your ex-boyfriend.
It is exactly like that. Yeah. I've never done that though. I've dodged that bullet. Anyway, the hideout. So it's down a quiet street. And Rune knows about. There's a house on the street that's well known to whispers. It's a place. It's the Dimmer Sisters' house. It's kind of like saying it's, I don't know, what would you compare it to? Not the boogeyman, but like they have a reputation. They're this family of sisters. They're weirdos. They're whispers. All the ghost people in the city, they know about the Dimmer Sisters. And
people are like scared of them?
Yeah, like the kids like have sing-song rhymes about them, and you go in their house and you never come out and that kind of stuff.
This is where the meetup is?
No, it's not at their house. It's down the street from where their house is. But as you turn down the lane, I think Rune is the one who recognizes, like, holy shit, that's that place. It's like right across the street. And it's this quaint little brownstone townhouse. It's got lace curtains in the windows. It looks the lights are on. It's a nice house.
It's a nice house.
Yeah. It's this cute little brownstone.
It's like an unassuming kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just like all these rumors.
So there's like 30 sisters, or is it literally like 2 sisters and they create all this fear?
Nobody knows. Like the number of the sisters is unknown. Everyone knows they never leave their house, and people who go in never come out again. But that's not really true. It's like their mystique,
So we're going somewhere else, but I see like
past their house. Yeah.
Yeah, so I like see the house, and I'm just like, oh, I've always wanted to go there. Like I'm like really excited. Like it's like me seeing, like everyone is really afraid of that house, but for me it's like seeing, like, I don't know, like he's describing it as like Disneyland, and for me it's like a ride that I've never been on. Like I really want to go there.
Nice.
Do you say that out loud?
Yeah.
Karis is like, well, perhaps after our little meeting, we should stop by and say hi.
I'm like so excited. Just like, yes, like I really want to.
Yeah, I think Myth is acting the same way. Like instead of putting his tail between his legs and whimpering when you go by, it's like he's like wagging his tail and like
Yeah.
like his ears perk up, and it's like
He's like kind of a reflection of my like emotion. So like, because humans don't have tails to wag, so like you can see Myth like wagging his tail, and you can tell that I'm like really stoked.
Well, Karis like looks between you two and at the house like, this is wonderful. Everyone is happy. Win-win. Wait till you meet this young man. This should be really funny as well. I've been giggling the whole time.
So this street is row houses mainly, very tightly packed, no alleyways between them, you know, just like crammed together, brick, 2, 3 story, 4 story brownstones. Used to be fair, you know, decent, nice part of town long ago. Most of the houses have been chopped up into apartments or flop houses or that kind of stuff. The Dimmer sisters, obviously not, but this location that you're going to is the same thing. It's this old brownstone. It's been remodeled many times. It has all kinds of ironwork on it. It has a fire escape kind of iron staircase thing, like awkwardly jammed on the front of it. And the windows are boarded up. The front door is sort of slightly ajar. There's no lights inside. Well, that's not true. Sorry, I take that back. There's no like proper lights going on, but there's a little flickery like firelight coming from somewhere inside. And as you approach, oh, I should say too, by the way, just as like crew stuff, Wheat, like it's not totally necessary for you to be excluded from this scene. Like you could be here and also do your thing if you want to.
Okay.
I thought his thing was more of like it's just like the action role for how it goes.
Yeah,
Like
it'll be a
flashbacks.
thing you do in downtime.
You don't
So
need to always have to play
yeah.
there.
you can be with the group here and not be like excluded from the action. That's fine.
Great.
So is that cool? Do you want to be there too?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So yeah, you approach the door that's open. There's no guard. There's no people on the street. People are like, because of the gang war, they've like shut up their windows and they've gone home, and there's no market stalls or anything happening. Do you want to announce yourself in some way, or do you want to like sneakily?
Is it a house/door? You said, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a house door. It's
He just walks up and he knocks with the head of the spear. Actually,
nice. Yeah, so it thumps and clangs, and the door
kind of looks
yawns
back at the group
open.
and does one of those like, ooh, okay.
There's a horrible smell. It smells like burned chemicals.
Nice.
And there's stains on the wood you see there, and you bang, and the door opens up, and you hear like shuffling and like, oh, put it out. Someone douses a candle, and they're shuffling around, not doing a very good job. And then this kid that you saw before, wearing this eel skin bodysuit, a hood pulled down low so a shadow falls dramatically across his face, and he confidently strides up and is like, good evening. You must have answered my summons. And he kind of like looks back over his shoulder, and you hear a couple like appreciative like, yeah.
Yeah, Careless is like tickled absolutely fucking pink by the whole thing and is like, well, my name is Careless Firm, and I have got to admit, in the hullabaloo of that gorgeous fight that we both were acquainted at, I failed to meet you. He sticks his hand out. He like switches hands with a spear. He's just got it like butt down on the floor, you know. Switches hands and holds and reaches out his hands. Says, "What is your name, and may I please make your acquaintance?"
Before he shakes your hand, he kind of looks back over his shoulder for like encouragement. Maybe it's just dark behind him in the house, but he pulls himself up. He's probably like 16, 17. Akarosi kid, pale skin, dark hair.
He's Tykerosi, you said?
He's sorry, Akarosi. He's a local.
Oh, okay.
He's from Duskwall. Thrusts his hand out and he says, "I am Donek."
Strong name. I
Of
sense a lot of intelligence and just a great future for you behind that. May we come into your domicile?
this is our gang's lair, and you may enter.
Absolutely. By the way, I am such a horrible, horrible man. This is Rune. Rune is an accomplice of mine. And behind her, that gorgeous slab of absolute muscle and beast, is a man by the name of Aldo.
Yeah. Quick question. Do I know this gang from my gang connections?
Yeah, there's like a chance that you and Rune might actually pick up on something here. It's a little strange, but I think if you both want to roll, study, I guess, maybe consort. What it's up to you. Like how you typically know stuff about gangs. Is it academic, or is it more like word on the street for you?
Hold on one second. Let's see. My contact with the Lost.
Mm-hmm.
I am friends with the Lost. I'm wondering if they may have they know this gang or they have had dealings with them.
Maybe. Yeah. That's
Okay.
something you might know.
Okay.
I think both of you are, and actually too, Cataby as well. You guys are all.
Oh, I introduced Cataby too. I'm sorry, I forgot she's there.
Yeah,
I'm
I think you're all
here.
clued in enough to the gang scene, because Crowsfoot is one of those things where it's the one district in town that everyone knows, like the gangs run the district, and so there's always this like rolling queue of gangs that are fighting for turf and stuff, and everyone hears the stories, and so you may have kind of heard something here. So anyone who wants to can roll based on your character, like study, consort.
All
Maybe
those got it, man.
else.
Yeah,
You-
consort would be good for me.
any of those things. It's just controlled standard effect. It's not a risky roll. It's just like what you know in this situation. No one knows much about this situation. Oh, you guys both
Not the best rolls tonight.
5, 4. Okay.
I'm just kind of wondering if we know the name of the gang and what they're
Yeah.
sort of about.
You do kind of, but it's weird. Like you see this kid, and when you guys walk inside, it used to be a house. So there's like a sitting room to your right. There's a staircase that goes up to the upper floors. There's a staircase that goes down to the basement. They're walking you directly to the right into what used to be the sort of front room where the bay window is. There's no furniture in there. One of the other members lights a candle, and you see them. They're all about the same age. They're younger, like 15, 16. They're wearing these eelskin suits, but
Is that nice, by the way?
the eelskin bodysuit.
Is that nice?
Is it like a nice thing?
It's like it feels old fashioned, like not like someone wearing medieval armor or something, but it's sort of like that. It's like
Okay.
like
How
that's-
many
it's
of them are there?
out of style. There's 5 total. And you guys, this rings a bell. Who succeeded? Cataby and Aldo. There is a game called the Eels in Crowsfoot. You've heard about this affect that they had. They all wore matching outfits. Some of the gangs do that to distinguish themselves in battle. They'll wear like a armband or a particular hat or something, you know. But these guys had like an outfit that everybody wore. And these kids are wearing eelskin, and as they light the candle and like stand in the room, you get a good look at them, and you're like, they're not they don't fit. Like
Sure.
these kids have like put on somebody else's clothes.
Okay.
And there's a big burned, like scorch mark on the wall. The wallpaper's peeled off and burned. There's a big burn mark on the floor. Something went down here, and they don't seem very connected to it. But they're acting. They're all puffing their chests up, and they're like, "So, I presume." Donick looks at his compatriots to get some confidence and decides to take a chance and say, "You must be the last word."
Careless is kind of like he walked in,
himself,
past him, looks at everyone, has his back to him a little bit, and then like turns and kind of looks at him and says, "Interesting that you would think so. How did you come to believe this?"
He like actually grins, and the other guys and women in the group are like, they don't contain themselves. They're like, "Ooh, yeah, the last word. They don't know how we know about them. We're cool, yeah." They have that kind of reaction.
Yeah.
All right, since I can't, like Aldo can't contain himself anymore. Since he's been associated with the street and like thugs and gangs and all this kind of stuff, he knows like a little bit about it.
Yeah.
He just steps forward and just kind of towers over Donick, and he looks at him and he goes, "Now, listen, I understand what you're doing, and I appreciate it. I remember when I was like you, and I wanted to be something. But we've got very important things to take care of. So if you could just cut all this facade before one of us may do something that you might regret."
Do you want to command this guy? Although,
Yes.
Make his pants.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so I command him.
Make a command roll. Controlled. Great effect.
You got this.
Great. Let's see. Do I have a thing? Let's see. Gain. Nope. Nope. Okay, good. Okay.
Do you want to push yourself or Devil's Bargain?
No, that's right.
Mm,
I mean,
interesting.
yeah.
So
Ouch.
Yeah. this kid's got more of a backbone than we expected.
I know.
That's fine. I'll respect it.
Aldo gives him. I mean, a lot of people would fold in this situation. They would not stand up to Aldo at all. But the kid is clearly terrified of you. But he keeps it together. He doesn't fold, and he says, "Well, but I mean, you need people though. You need people like us. We know things. We know secrets. We could help you. We could be." He's about to say partners, and he looks across at all four of you, and he's like, we could do stuff for you.
Well, I like that idea. I like that idea very much. What can you do for us?
Well, you asked how we knew about you. We have a whisper, and he points at one of the other guys in the group. He's got emo hair over one eye, and and
you just hear Rune in the background. I just kind of laugh. Yeah, right.
The kid's like,
Oh, weird.
I see things in the shadows.
Okay, so he says that, and I turn and kind of look at him, and my smile dissipates just a little bit, kind of goes to a smirk a little bit, and he goes, "All right, listen. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and I need you to answer them in the most expedite fashion that you can imagine. Okay, it's going to have to be lightning quick. Imagine that. 1, I understand that you have this whisper, but I need to know how you found out about us. 2, have you told anyone about us? And 3, is this the whole gang in the room right now?"
It's a suspect question.
The first question was the whisper. How do you know about us?
Yeah.
How did they find out about us?
So Donick like immediately like doesn't answer. Like he turns to the whisper with his body language to be like, tell him right now. And the kid like he looks up and the light from a distant light out on the street like hits his face in this dramatic way, and he seems confused, like he doesn't really know what he's saying, but he goes like he's afraid that this is the wrong thing to say. It's very obvious, but he's so scared of you guys that he says it anyway. He says, "You serve the goddess."
And as he says that, the smile broadens again, and Careless is like, "Yes, you have heard the good cleansing word of she who slays in the dark. Then, is that correct?"
Yeah, when you say that, like, that's news to them, but they're all just like, totally, yeah, that she's the best. We love her. She's awesome. But clearly they didn't know what they were talking about. He was just
and
saying
their body language, everything makes that pretty clear, right?
Yeah. He was taking a shot like at this thing that he kind of knew, and when you say that, they're all like, yes, she who slays in darkness, totally, yes.
And like as they're all kind of like agreeing half-ass, Careless like sighs, still smiling, always smiling, and hands his spear over to like whoever's closest to him, Aldo or somebody, and he kind of looks at him. He says, "Look, I have a terrible, terrible inability to wait for things. I asked you questions," and he kind of looks at his wrist that's naked. He says, "It had to have been a minute ago, maybe
Shit,
two."
what were the other two questions? Quick, what were they?
He was saying, "Is this everyone in the room, and have they told anybody?"
Okay, they want to answer your questions real bad.
Okay.
So when you start,
They want to work
start
with
that,
us, right?
you start that speech, yeah, he says, yes, this is everybody in the gang, and the other thing you said.
Yes,
sir.
have they told anybody?
Anyone?
Yeah, but I mean that's what he says. He's just like, and yes, and that other thing you said, sir. No, sir, no.
He says, "Okay, I'm gonna make this really quick. I've kind of decided that, based on your reaction to what's about to happen, we'll see where we go from there." And then he like really quickly, like inhumanly quickly, reaches out, grabs Donick by the throat, pulls him close, looks into his eyes, and just buries him with the darkness.
Oh, you're gonna use the power?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Let's do that.
Use the power.
3 stress, as I recall.
How much?
I think it's 3. Let me actually get.
I have it written down here.
Yeah,
It
here
is,
we go.
yeah.
3 stress. All those who can see you must look away and leave your presence, or be paralyzed with dread. Right?
Yeah.
And that
Okay.
includes us.
Yep. You guys can be paralyzed with dread, or you can leave the room. And same for the kids. The kids are all paralyzed with dread.
Well,
Can I roll?
We've never seen him do this, right?
You can resist. Yes, you may resist as well. That's an option.
Well, we've never seen him do this, right?
No, you never.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the fuck's going on. So
What does it look like to the people who see you, Jeff, that makes them have this reaction?
It's if you can imagine extreme shimmering heat wave, like a flatland desert, just everything starts to kind of vibrate and move and seems to have like air currents moving through it, but not physically. That just emanates off of me in waves, and then there's just there literally are ethereal smoky black tendrils coming off of my eyes into the direction I'm pointing.
Going into Donick's face.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So-
We need to take a break. So can we break on that image?
Yeah.
And then we'll decide. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah.
We don't have to.
Yeah.
We can wait. Okay.
Well, I can't wait to see like what happens to me because I'm not fucking looking away. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
It's our last break, and we'll be back to find out how these guys react to Careless's dread powers. See you guys in a minute.